Everything I spit rare, we sounded that great area podcast. They talk about hip hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch it once again. Every time I'm spitting,
have we got any early Simz fans? Do we remember when we first heard her?
I remember exactly where and when I heard her, but I'd heard of her before this moment, but I hadn't heard her music until then. So it was Afropunk 2017, and she was performing on like not the side stage technically, but like on the smaller stage, which was more like a rave crowd. But the bill she was up against was a big bill. Danny Brown, Nadia Rose, Joey Radical, like big people, but she was like earlier on in the day. So I just got there. Or maybe I'd been there for a while, I don't know. I was drunk the whole day. But I came in and I was like, who is this? And someone's like, it's Lil Simz. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was vibing to her music, but this is 2017 time. So she didn't have any maybe she had the one.
Yeah, she was 2 albums deep.
She had no. At this point, the Grey Era wasn't out. This was summer.
Yeah, that's number 3. Yeah.
Oh right, okay. Either way, so the one with all the colors and her face, the one
Stillness in Wonderland.
That one. She was performing that. She was performing a lot of that. And I was like, this sounds good, and I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye on her. But then you know me, I say I'll keep an eye on someone and I forget. So yeah, that's when I first was introduced to her about 4 years ago. But I liked her energy when she was performing. It was good energies.
Yeah. I think I heard her, I want to say, it was between 2014 and 2015. Maybe 2015. But all I remember is Kendrick shouted out her on a radio station. He was doing an interview at BBC and he mentioned Little Simz. And I remember knowing who she was at that time. So it must have been around that time. But I liked her early on. I always saw the potential and whatnot, but for some reason, the first 2 albums just didn't stick. And like the other music that I was hearing, like I'd appreciate it, but then I just wasn't going back to it. I don't know whether that's because I was just into other stuff at the time and it was taken over. But it was Grey Area where like I became a proper fan. It was like a reintroduction, I guess.
What did you hear first?
What did I hear first?
Yeah. Like, was it a song, a mixtape?
That's the thing. I can't pinpoint it. Like I just remember knowing her name around the time when Kendrick shouted her out. It might have been something like Wings. I think that might have been a single. I'm not sure. And I listened to the albums, but I can't remember my first listen to them. It was Grey Area where I was like hooked. Basically, I was like, oh, this she's different level. But she did take a step up on that album, I think. Yeah.
I was quite late to Little Simz, I won't lie. But that being said, I still think it was 2017 because I remember when I was still in my Ford Focus at the time, listening to her on One Extra, and I was thinking, oh, who's this? I need to check out Little Simz. But then it's funny, I never did until Grey Area then came out. Then I was like, oh, okay, this is special. And that's when I just continued the journey. So I always think I was a bit late to Little Simz, even though I heard some stuff beforehand. I never really followed it up, but Grey Area turned me into a fan.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I was late. I feel like I didn't appreciate the early stuff, but yeah. What about you, Kieran?
Yeah, I think I was one album early because when I heard Backseat on Colours, that's what got me with her. Then that was obviously from the deluxe version of Stillness in Wonderland. Dead Body as well. I don't know, I can't remember if I heard that first or if I went back to hear it, but it's because it had Stormzy and Kano on it, which I really liked as well. But yeah. I was just one album early, basically, but same journey, really.
So no one was like up on the mixtapes or the EPs or anything like that. I feel like I heard a couple EPs, but not. I went into
You heard Wings though. Wings is earlier than Wonderland.
Yeah. I think Wings. I want to say it's the first album. It might have even been her first single or something, like proper single anyway. But again, none of it stuck with me, and it wasn't because I didn't think she was bad or anything like that. I just think there must have been other stuff going on at the time that was stopping me from gravitating towards it. And I think she kind of, if I think back to like the time frame, I feel like grime was the thing at that point, and I wonder whether I was messing more with some of the grime artists at the time.
I'm surprised though, because it's got Sid on it, like, and I know you liked the Internet that time as well.
Yeah, that album, what was it? Ego Death, great album.
Yeah.
Banged that album out in 2015. So yeah, I think we can all agree then that Grey Area was kind of like the project where we went, oh shit, this woman's serious. Like,
but that was a mad step up. Like that was, and in our review we did recently of it, in that have we dropped that yet? Greatest UK rap albums.
edit the fuck out of that.
Trust me.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a lot to say about Grey Area, really.
So
Yeah,
we're
Yeah, that's
named
a good
after
point.
it.
Actually, we
It's not
did.
really.
Yeah,
We're named after a coffee shop in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What was I going to say with Grey Area? Yeah, so I was listening to an old interview with Simz. It was with DJ Target when he was doing that. I can't remember what it was called, but he would interview someone basically and go through their career. So he'd start off with like their inspirations and then their early tracks, and then just go through the years. And at the time, I think Little Simz was recording Grey Area because it was 2018, I think, beginning of 2018. She was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to drop an album this year." And they were talking about the first two albums as well. And she said that in the build up to the Grey Area, that it was like the first time that she'd really sort of stopped and started saying no to things. So like from when she sort of started really breaking through with the early EPs and the mixtapes, she was constantly writing, recording, like, you know, being on the press run, touring and just going through that cycle. And then with Grey Area, she said she started ghosting and just really sort of, you know, putting the pen to pad, not letting anyone distract her, getting a bit more personal as well, a bit more therapeutic and whatnot. And it showed. And that's when she connected with Inflow as well, which
that's
is a major
partnership.
Yeah.
that partnership is undefeated at the moment. I'm sorry. Jeez Louise, man.
Mm. So should we hold
Chemistry.
fire with Grey Area then?
Oh,
Should we hold just in case?
Oh, I don't remember what we said in that conversation though, man. So I feel like we can recap. The listeners can hear it twice.
We can do it. Yeah, we can do a brief recap, can't we? We can touch on certain bits.
Because I know Sean's always he's bubbling over the edges to talk about the album. So let him, you know what I mean? Let him say his piece.
No. I was gonna keep it stum and let you lot say something. But,
Nah, you have the most to say though.
not right now. I don't, man.
I feel like we've spoken about it already. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I can't remember what I even said. And I'm just like, I'm
It
not
was a
inside
while
that
ago.
world anymore.
That would be like 6
Yeah.
months ago. So yeah, I don't know. Listeners, they probably won't hear this bit, but still, listeners, you're gonna find out what we said about the Grey Area one day soon, someday soon.
Yeah. I guess Kieran kind of summarized it. It was a massive step up, wasn't it? In terms of like she just sounded more confident, sounded like she'd honed her craft, but she was also now telling more sort of vivid and detailed personal stories as well. So you just felt like you were getting more of her. Do you get what I mean? There were snippets throughout. Like she's always mentioned that, like she said like things about her dad and this and that. But this album, like especially a song like Therapy.
I think one thing about this album also that got me was she switched up her delivery as well. Because before it was always that same voice, just that cool, cold, introverted voice. But in like tracks like, was it Offense or Boss? And she's got the megaphone.
yeah.
And like I sent the live video recently because like she's rapping with a megaphone in her hand. It's just crazy. It's like coming out all distorted. And I'm like, okay, she's trying something different vocally. That's not something that's that common with her, but at that time anyway.
Yeah.
On this album, it's different, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. And I guess the only other thing as well to say briefly about Grey Area is just how concise it was. There was no fat on that whatsoever. 10
tracks. Yeah.
Oh, it was so
No
concise.
messing
It was
about.
brilliant. It was so concise. It was straight to the point. No mucking around at all. That's what I loved about it so much. It was like no filler, no nothing. It was like in, out, just did what you needed to do. And it banged.
There isn't really a UK album like that, to be honest, other than Kano's, I would say.
I was expecting that
Just
to come.
so short.
Yeah, Kano. Yeah.
But she's so early into her career that it takes a lot to make such a tightly.
I don't know how she made that at like 25 or was it younger even?
that's
Probably
mad.
around that. I think she's around our age, so it might have been.
Yeah,
25.
she's about 27, I think, or something like that. But she, if you look at her discography, she's put out a lot of music, you know, even if it's just EPs and stuff, there's a lot of projects. So, I mean, compared to some other artists these days who kind of just get big on SoundCloud or something like that and then release a project within a year or two, she was quite seasoned. She'd been doing it for a good 5 years, multiple projects. But yeah, to write, I'm amazed when people like younger than us are able to like put together something like that. It's incredible.
It's practice though, isn't it? It's all about your intention. If you make a whole bunch of songs and then try and make them fit together, then it's not going to sound like an album. But if you make an album, it's going to sound like an album, you know? So I feel like she's always been in that project, like you said, mindset. I thought this man was drinking a massive bottle of champagne, you know? I wouldn't put that past Theo to do something like that, you know? But sorry, definitely.
Celebrating Simbi.
Got one for Simbi.
Celebrating life. But yeah, no,
That's funny.
most definitely. And to be honest, I don't know how she was slipping through the cracks when you said she was releasing music in 2014 times, or prior to when we heard of her in her album. Maybe because
she was mad overlooked at that time, definitely. But listening back to some of the tracks that Sean was sharing recently, she does sound really young. Like she does sound like a little girl, basically. I don't know when she finally had that woman voice.
Yeah,
it might have been Grey Area, really.
I don't know.
She definitely found her voice in Grey Area. Like, don't get me wrong, the first two, her albums are they're a good level. They're she's got a very good discography, I think. But yeah, like I said, there's just something about Grey Area, like that first track, the things she's saying, the way she's saying it. Yeah, like you
that
said,
one, I found my flow like Busta Rhymes as well.
Yeah, was that the 101 FM or something like that?
Yeah.
The Skippy track. Yeah, I love that one. Love that. So where do we feel like she fits in the scene? Like if you think about the different sort of subgenres of hip hop over here, and rap, what lane is she in?
I think it's rude to try to do that to her, especially with this latest album. I think it's rude. Like it doesn't make sense.
She's in that Tyler, like she's got her own genre, right?
Like I'm looking at the list: drill, no, rap, a little bit, grime, Afro swing. I guess hip hop. Well, technically, if it's rap, then it's also kind of hip hop. But she's none of those. Her album sounds like its own thing. It almost sounds nostalgic in places.
It's in its own,
There's multiple influences, multiple sounds, multiple influences, but.
It fits in the hip hop industry, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like hip hop, I'm talking like US hip hop as well.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like she's number one in the sort of UK hip hop lane. To me, I think.
Yeah,
that's too limiting though.
No, not to limit her. No, not to limit.
I feel what you're saying.
I just mean like if you think about it, if you think like with drill, Heady One, I guess is kind of like the poster child. We love people like Unknown T and Millions and that as well. If you're talking, I mean, Grimes. It's hard to talk about grime in a minute. It's dormant and that. But if you go like J Hus with Afro Swing, I would say it would have been someone like Nines for like the sort of rap, sort of road rap, whatever you want to call it. She's hip hop to me. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to limit her, but I feel like there's in that sort of lane. She says herself that her music's rooted in hip hop. She's number one, like, without question. And there are other names. I'll talk about people like Loyal Kana and stuff like that, but. Little Simz is number one.
When you think Kano fits into that as well, though?
Well, Kano, I was thinking when I said grime there, I would say like the people to me that are kind of holding the torch of grime are the vets. So like him and Getz are like progressing grime to new levels, in my opinion. There are some people there's people like Mez and I guess Jams and people like that that are still doing it underground and make good grime music. But like I say, I feel like that scene is dormant and has been for a little while. But then when you hear an album like Hoodies All Summer or Conflicts of Interest, it's like that's where I think we all wanted grime to go, where these guys that were spraying it up on radio back in 2003 or whatever, like that's where you want to see them sort of 15, 20 years later making that kind of music.
We have to admit, grime has peaked and it will never get the recognition it should get or wants to get because it's peaked. And it's produced a new generation of artists. It'd be like if people were still rapping over boom bap beats going to, you know what I mean? Hip hop has progressed in America. Hip hop or grime, whatever you want to call it. Rap based music over here has progressed and it's produced J Hus's, Little Simz, so many different types of varied artists. And I'd like to say we definitely have more musical rappers over here than we have like rappers. And Little Simz is a musical rapper. She's actually constructed a piece of work here as opposed to just said some shit on some beats.
Absolutely. 100%.
But with what you're saying about Kano doesn't have worldwide appeal yet or right now. Everything he's done has been great for the UK, but like what Little Simz has done here and maybe a little bit with her previous albums has worldwide appeal. Like Venom, the new one coming out is using her song. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's global. I don't know many other UK artists, even though I hate separating us, we have to in this case. I don't know many other UK artists that have done such a big film. You know what I mean? Millions of people will see that film, and so millions of people will be listening to that song.
Yeah, I think Kano, like it's almost like his feet he sort of dabbled. Like he got the Jay-Z co-sign early, didn't he? So there must have been a tiny bit of buzz around that time. But I know what you mean. It didn't transcend. Like I feel like with Little Simz, she's always been working with US artists. She got a Kendrick Lamar shout out fairly early on. She went on tour with Lauryn Hill. I think she toured with Anderson .Paak. And then even like coming back to over here, she did a big tour with the Gorillaz as well, and that's like a huge fan base.
Wasn't she on that album?
Yeah,
she was on there as well. Yeah. So she's one of those ones where she's not a household name, but she's big, and she does multiple things as well. Like, I mean, we've seen her.
She's in Top Boy as well. Haven't even said that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she is in Top Boy, but it is true though, because a lot of Americans have reacted to Little Simz' music because she has dabbed her way over there, and she's like more well known. Whereas if you're comparing it to Kano, you say Kano to a lot of Americans, they wouldn't know his name. Sadly, sadly. So
I think, but it's still, you can't deny that the groundwork that Kano put in is what has allowed. Do you know what I mean? She's standing on the shoulders of giants type thing. She's not. She's just bust through on her own, doing her own things. It's completely like someone has to take the first couple steps so the next person can, you know what I mean, take the next few steps. And it's just how
they lay down. They lay their foundations down. So,
but even on a personal level, she credits him. Like she said that since early that Kano's been sort of like helping her out and giving her advice, and I think he put her in contact with what's his face from the Gorillaz. I think he Damon or what, I can't remember his name, and sort of hooked that up as well. Because Kano is, I think, behind the scenes really respected and knows a lot of people. Do you know what I mean?
Hear a bad word about Kano, do you? Which is interesting.
Man is an OG. That's why.
But that's what I'm saying. It's weird to think that you hear bad things about every other person, but I've never really heard a bad word about Getz or about Kano. Or about Wretch really either, but that's a different one because we already spoke about Wretch.
Yeah, some OGs, man.
They care about music.
Holding down the fort, man. They do that. That is one very good point because they do care about music, and that's probably why people don't have a bad thing to say about them. The other people in the industry, I don't know. I don't think they give a shit as much, but them three especially, they care about the music.
Obviously Jamie as well, but Jamie's very open with what he cares about. He'll
this
tell
one's
you.
Different though. He's a bit more contained in like that grime sound.
Oh, Jamie's is literally the king of the grime scene. You can't tell us any different.
Yeah.
He has not changed in 10, 15 years. He's the same guy, man. So shout out to him.
Grime MC was hard as well.
I didn't listen to that album.
Yeah.
The fact it wasn't on streaming, then it was on streaming. I was like, aha. So you realize
it was a hard release plan.
Okay, let's get into the album then. So I guess, well, it says it in the title. In being an introvert, introversion was like the main theme of this. How did we feel about the concept of like Little Simz versus Simbi and like how that was conveyed? Did we like that?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it because I feel that so many people have that, like being introvert, but you've got this other side of you inside that is dying to come out, and you want to be able to break through in that world where you're not so, I don't know, shy, reluctant, introvert, but then realizing that when you get to a stage later on in life, it's okay, and you don't have to. I don't know. You don't always have to be like an extrovert. Like you can marry the two together. There's the balance there. I think it was brilliant. I related to it a lot. So I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And people who struggle with that will really relate to it and really hit home, because there's certain songs on this album that hit seriously at home for me. And it was just amazing.
Kieran, were you going to say something?
No, I feel couldn't have said it better than like I was reading my mind. That was.
Trust me, you can tell when a man's done prep, because I was thinking to myself, I have nothing to add. Literally, I was like,
I was just thinking, in hindsight though, I was listening to therapy and she says, still an introvert, still my feelings hurt. And I was thinking, like, that's actually mad. She planted the seed from early and then just went deep into it.
Yep. Do you know what? Again, back to that interview with Target, there was so much like manifestation in that. She was saying so many things that have like, and then when I was listening to the earlier music as well, it's like there's a real lineage like of how we've got to this point. Like she was talking about in the interview about how she can get up on stage and perform in front of all these people and be the most confident in the room and all that. But then when she got into sort of business meetings or just like meeting fans and that, she kind of was like, I don't really know what the fuck to say. I don't know how to say things and all this sort of stuff. And she was talking about potentially talking about that more and about her personal relationships more later in her career and that, and being ready for it. And she also started when she was talking about, just going back to Grey Area, she was talking about recording that album, and then she mentioned Grey Area, right? She said it out loud. And then Target was like, have you got a title for the album? She was like, no, not yet. I'm just thinking about it. But she was already like, she was already she already had it, but she hadn't, thought of it as the title and that. But no, I agree, man. I mean, from the first line of the album, there's a war. Do you know what I mean? From then on, the whole way through.
I was thinking to myself, maybe the title of the album is less of a like something she's thought about a lot, and it's something that's always been in her head. Do you see what I mean? Because if it's constantly happened throughout all her other projects, maybe this is just like the best version of all what she said before, with a new bit of whatever sprinkled in. Because it's like, it seems like she's a very sure person.
I think she's perceptive. Like I saw her somewhere. I don't know where it was. Like she enjoys being in a position of like power, like performing to like thousands of people at a stage, as opposed to like talking to a room full of just 10 people. And like they're kind of like, she's in a lower position than having to like appeal to these 10. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's just integral to everything about her and what she decides to cover on this album.
There's also like a comfort zone. I feel she finds that comfort and being that person when she's in like front of like thousands of people. But then there's also a frustration as in herself, as in to think, why am I this comfortable? Why can I be this confident and amazing? And the real me is what she thinks comes out in that moment. But when it comes to another situation, I go back to my introvert sort of stage. And why is that happening when I know what I know what I'm capable of? Because you hear it in some of the interviews. It's like, no, I want to be the best me. I want the best version of me to come out. But why does that version not come out? And it's that constant battle with herself, almost battle
conflict,
demons. Yeah.
So to the wars as well.
You know that kind of that posh sort of cinematic voice that she's talking to. Do you think that's in her head, or do you think that's someone else? Or what do you think that is?
I think it's a different side of her.
That is a.
It's not one thing, It's a few things because they all sound right.
I think it's all her, but I'm not saying it's like like Kendrick has his little squeaky voice and then Tyler has his low voice. I feel like it's just her making it audibly clear to us that this is a different side of her speaking, as opposed to changing up how she's rapping. Might as well just make the voice or the accent kind of a bit audibly different.
She's talking to herself, definitely.
Oh, she's definitely talking to herself. Yeah,
she's talking to other people.
That's clear.
With like a different accent to like appeal to them, like in like this is your voice kind of thing, not mine as well.
Yeah,
it's like having that other side to you. Sorry, that other side to your head. Because I'm not gonna lie, I know I have it, and that's again why I relate. It's funny how there's that different voice, but it's like talking to that other side of yourself in your head and wondering what's going on. So again, I relate to that. I relate a lot to this album. I'm not gonna lie.
Alexander T.
Jeez, give that man a bomb. Give that man all the bomb. Alexander T in the house.
I guess the other thing I wanted to ask before moving on a bit more was, did we pick up on any other themes? Because introversion and the sort of inner conflict is the obvious one. I mean, it says it in the title and it's very explicit, but did we pick up on any other things with the album?
Self-discovery, or like, I guess like self-appreciation, but also that appreciation then, because like, she's a woman, she's black, all this kind of stuff. So she's appreciating herself, and then she's also kind of throwing it back out to the rest of the women that look like her or that have been through what she's been through. Obviously, the obvious track to point out would be is Woman. How she says, Ghana women got the prettiest hair or whatever she says. Sorry, I don't know the lyrics that well, but do you know what I mean? She's I don't know the lyrics that well on that one. That's not my tune that I'm listening to. It's not for me, but definitely self-appreciation and kind of spreading that self-love. And it feels genuine. You know, some people try to do that track for the ladies or for that group of people and it feels contrived. That song actually feels genuine.
Yeah, I get you. It's not relatable, obviously, but it feels authentic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
And it's enjoyable from an objective point of view. Like, she's barring on it.
100%.
She is barring on it.
The drum beat catches you.
Throughout.
Everything about it catches you. And then you start listening to lyrics, oh, these lyrics aren't for me, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, she's cold. I guess the theme that I picked up on, again, another sort of quite obvious and general one, was family and just relationships, I guess. You know, we hear, well, whether it's something like I Love You, I Hate You, to some of the skits or the interludes where we've got the cousin and we've got, I don't know if at the beginning, the one between Introvert and, the one we hear at the end of Woman, I'm not sure who that is, whether that's a mum or a friend or just a friend.
Oh, was she saying, I wish you'd just pick up the phone?
Yeah, that one, yeah. So there's a lot of that in here. Isn't one of the verses on Little Q about her cousin from her dad's
I
side?
think it's about somebody else. Like,
yeah,
family.
It's
all the cousin's perspective. All of it. The whole track is
The whole
cousin's
thing, yeah.
perspective. The whole of it is. At first, when I was listening to it, I thought it was Little Simz. Then I realised that no, it's Little Simz rapping on her cousin's perspective. All of it.
Yeah. So I guess that leads me on to the next question, which is this her most personal album?
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Easy, yeah.
No doubt.
There's too many deep areas that this
Some of
is
it's
so
got so
personal,
deep.
so personal. Exactly.
It
And
is
like
quite
they
personal.
link as well. It's not just like one track about her sister, one track about her dad. Like I feel like they all interlink as well.
Yeah.
There's a narrative in there of just her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts out with this kind of like grand opening, and then it's just like main event after main event, which you don't normally get in many albums where you have multiple main events. But this album, for me, it's like it doesn't go up and down. It just keeps edging up, and then it ends, which is a very I wouldn't say uncommon feeling, but that hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah, I went on first listen when she said on Standing Ovation, I feel like I need a standing ovation. I had to stop. I had to just stop. I was like, this is mad. Almost every single track was epic in like a different way.
Cinematic
and
as fuck.
The grand production. I was like, this is like some Jay-Z in his prime. Like she was just so in her bag on that song. And then every song before that was the same. Like I'm listening to flipping Little Q Part 2 and hearing the sort of la 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 la. Like it's like Kanye West, early Kanye West stuff. I'm like, what is going on, man?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Introvert sounded like
transition from
James
Speed.
Bond as well.
Yeah. Amazing. But
What are you saying, Theo?
No, I was saying that transition from Speed to Standing Ovation still gets me every single time because
Standing Ovation
it
is too much.
Oh, it's just unbelievable. You have Speed and you're like in that moment, and then it just got, and like Sean says that isn't that the opening lyric where she says, "I think I need a standing ovation"?
No.
It's in the middle, right?
Opening lyric though.
Or near the end. or
Opening
something.
lyric.
It's just-
There's a war
she goes-
outside.
No, she goes, "Why
that's
wait
not
for an applause? I'll wait," or something like that.
Yeah,
And like then it links to the final verse,
yeah.
innit? it? Where she's
Yeah.
like, "I think I need a
Yeah.
standing ovation."
Who said that in that wave? That sort of, I'll wait. Which rapper was that? Why can I not remember?
Jay-Z? It sounds a bit like Jay-Z,
it
right?
sounds
Sounds like
isn't it?
Hove. It is Jay-Z. Yeah, it's Hove. Definitely.
So there's where I'm getting the
Definitely
feeling
Hove.
from.
I think Jay-Z says I need a round of applause though.
But no, there's something.
No,
sure
the first
I'm sure
lyric is
you
"There's a
lot talk.
war, you lying bastards."
No, we're talking about standing ovation,
Oh right,
right?
it's okay. Someone said introvert. That's what I was googling. I was thinking that's not
No,
sounding
that's it.
right
It was,
in my head.
it was a side
That's
point,
it.
innit?
She says, why the desperate need for applause? Oh wait,
Ooh.
Wait.
she's not even
see-
reaching for it. She's not even like, I need my. I need
That's what I
my
mean.
She's
man.
saying
That's
you guys
what-
wanna
Right,
give me
it's
this thing.
dope. It's dope.
But then she demands it at the end. She demands it. Like, I think I need a standing ovation, she says towards the end, innit?
It's almost
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Kanye
yeah.
level braggadocio though. It's like you
No,
know
it's
what I
disgusting.
need. Give it to me. And if you don't want to give it to me, then I'm going to tell you anyways. Because it's like
But it's
Kanye
funny
does it
'cause
somewhere on
yeah.
Monster, is it? He goes, "I want to see your motherfucking hands. I want to." Was it something else?
Yeah, no, I think you're on the right lines. I can't remember what's. Yeah, no, I think
Monster?
you're on the right lines though. It is Monster. I'm sure it's Monster.
Yeah, but he says the same type of thing where he's basically like, "I'm the best," and this is one of those. You know when someone says they're the best and you let that lyric wash over your back. This is one of those moments where you go, "Well, actually, maybe, maybe you are the best."
The stuff she's saying, man.
But it's good because she referenced Kanye anyway, that she feels like Kanye. And then
This
compared
is
to
what
the
I was
Blood
gonna
of the Leaves-
say. There's quite a lot of Kanye references. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a theme in this of like Kanye as well. Like Sean said, Little Q sounds like a Kanye track. She says Blood and Leaves somewhere. She says Diamonds
Yeah.
Are Forever, Miss Sierra Leone. And like obviously Kanye links to that. Introvert sounds a bit like Kanye as well. It's mad.
Jeez, man. Yeah, you're right about the
Like-
braggadocio.
Nikki on Dark Fantasy with the interludes
yeah,
too. I'm just hearing Kanye through this whole album. It's mad.
Still in Donda mode. That's what it is.
But no, I think it might be, you know.
But
she
honestly,
says-
that's Smokey Robinson sample as well, man. That was gas me way too much, man. Oh, geez, Louise.
One more thing before like we go on to like sort of production and bars and that was, do you think because this to me was very cinematic, this one, I think that's obvious as well, like with the interludes and the instrumentals and things like, or the instrumentation and that. Like some of it sounded like a flipping Disney soundtrack or something like that. It was amazing. Do you think that enhanced it? Do you think it worked for this? Because I know that's not a criticism, but some people are obviously saying how compared to Grey Area, which was just sort of short and to the point, concise, in and out, this one's obviously a lot longer. Do you think it, like I say, enhanced it, or did it drag things out a bit? Like,
I've heard that.
No,
I've heard other people say that as well.
I think it enhances it. I don't think it drags out at all. This is like, I feel like I'm a flipping movie and on a journey.
Yeah, for me personally as well.
Brilliant.
I love the musicality of every interlude.
Yeah.
Because there's a story in it. Because Sam, you said it about the whole self-discovery thing, and Kieran, you said about how the tracks were linking in together. So I agree. I think the interludes helped that process. And I think she said in a recent interview as well, she was like, it's not like Grey Area where you just put the thing on front to back. Like, I know some people are going to take songs away from this and they're not going to have time. But she says, if you want to go on a journey, if you want to listen to a story, then this is the one for you.
But that's the thing, though. Remember my complaint for most songs or most albums with interludes or skits is that they're part of a track and they can ruin it. If they're like more than like 10, 15 seconds, it can take you out of it. This, she's made them separate tracks and it nicely sections off the album, not only visually, but sonically, because it's like, even though The Rapper That Came to Tea is technically a skit or an interlude, it's a full-fledged song. Same with Little Q. And all the other interludes, they're full-fledged, they're not afterthoughts. But the fact she took the time to make them separate makes them valuable. Or makes them, for me, sit better than anything.
There's one interlude, Jem's interlude. That one is like an actual full-on song. I love that one so much. It's just got like a little bit in the middle, spoken word, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I must admit that it's been a lot. It's like she's listened to everything we've said that we hate about albums and just not done that. I don't know, because it's like most people seem to just always want to put the interludes and the skits onto the track, and yeah, it's good. But when you take it off the album, then it's a bit weird if you're driving around listening to some weird stuff. But yeah, for me, the interludes bang, and realistically, I only listen to this album top to bottom anyway, so I don't ever feel jarred by them, if that makes sense.
The one I look forward to is The Garden.
The Garden's amazing, but
Beautiful,
it sets off each area of this album brilliantly. I feel that's why I think I like The Garden so much as well, because those last two songs for me,
top tier songs.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm not going to spoil my favorite tracks, but some people are saying that the album should have ended at How Did You Get Here, but I love Misunderstood.
No way. Misunderstood was no way.
I've been seeing that. Yeah.
No. I can hear it. I hear it. If people feel that way, I'm not going to argue with you, because I understand it. But Misunderstood is amazing. I don't know how you're getting mad at that's the end part. That was, And
she said she would have regretted that.
It feels like it ends with a bang, though. Do you know what I mean? Like a good bang. Not like you feel like you've been... sometimes an album brings you up and then takes you down. This album just fucking shot me into the sky and I liked it. You know what I mean?
It's bittersweet, though. It doesn't feel happy or sad. It feels like both. I was feeling weird after I listened to it.
Yeah, it's true. You raise a good point, because some of the stuff she's saying on there as well, it does leave you feeling a bit bittersweet. It's not
like the final verse, the way it ends is just sad. Straight up sad.
But this is why I rate her so much, because she seems so self-aware. Like, she said that she gets it if people think that the album should have ended at How Did You Get Here, but she just said I had to do Misunderstood for me. Like, if anything, she goes, if I didn't make a song like that, I would have regretted it. So, if
this
people
links
don't
to something,
they
actually.
don't have to, but yeah,
because she made this in lockdown, innit, where like there was uncertainty whether like we'd come out of it, what was going to happen. And she said she wanted to go all in on this album and just do everything she's ever wanted to do and not hold back, so that if she never makes an album again, she could say like, this is what I've done it all on this.
Yeah, she keeps saying stuff like that as well, and it's worrying me a bit. She keeps like alluding to the fact that this is her last album. You're like, stop it, Simz.
Yeah, but some artists know when they're done. That's a good thing to do. It's not like you're admitting failure if you admit you're done. It's okay to be like, that's all I have. And maybe you come back in 5-10 years time, or maybe you come back in 2 years time, but it's better to say it and people not expect you to come back, and you come back than not say it and just disappear.
Of course.
But maybe she's conscious. This is a good piece of work to end on. You wouldn't be mad if this is the last thing she ever puts out, because it's not like it's disappointing.
No, but it'd be the difference is for me is like, you see, like with Nas's King's Disease 2, which, by the way, we may have done a disservice to people by not reviewing that. We may not.
I don't know why we didn't review that.
We agreed that we're not
no,
reviewing any of the big
yeah.
albums because it's just pointless. It'd be a bum lick fest the whole time. What's
No,
the point?
but maybe we need to do a bonus episode.
A shout out to Nas and King Disease too, man.
This is not a Nas review.
Wow.
It's not a Nas.
All right, let me get to. All right, I'll get to my point. I'll get to my point. So, what I mean is that if Nas ended on King Disease 2, especially with that final track, Nas is good. You would go, that's cool, because he's done so much as well. Do you get what I mean? Whereas with Simz, it's like, I know she's 4 albums deep, yeah, but she's 27. So you think there's got to be more in there. Maybe take a few years break, you know what I mean? Live some life, do a Kendrick and just, you know, whatever.
He needs a break after this, for sure.
Yeah.
She's earned it.
Because this feels like a sort of purge or something like that. She's just kind of got it all out. All these things that she's sort of...
Think about the context, though. Like she said, she didn't know what the world was going to be like after COVID. So she just wanted to do everything.
I feel like COVID's given us a blessing and a curse, right? The blessing is that we have all these great albums. The curse is that it's made people feel like they're actually done. But that's because they haven't lived any life for 2 years. Let people get back out there and start living life. Why's Kieran laughing?
It was just funny.
Well, it's true, though, isn't it? Let people get out there and start living life again. They're going to have some more shit to say. Especially for Lil Simz after this album. After, you know, she goes on tour, she's going to realize she's definitely got more shit to say. She might even come back on that whole mafiosa flex of like, I'm the best. I already fucking seen it.
Whoa.
Do you know what I mean?
Ready for that standing ovation energy.
Yeah. So we'll get to the bars more, but stuff like Rolling Stone as well. I need more of that.
That's experimental as fuck, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
That is really
the flow on that is dun, 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 dun. It's almost like MIA. You know what I mean? It's like it feels like riding, you know what I mean? Like riding in a car late at night. It's dark. People are drunk at a high. Like it feels exactly like that.
It's weird that you say MIA because I was listening to the album in the car the other day and Fear No Man comes on, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, MIA could kill this.
Mm-hmm.
Could like kill this. If they did a remix,
destroy that. Yeah,
she would
destroy that.
kill it.
And the thing is with MIA, people say she fell off. She didn't fall off. She just didn't want to do it anymore. Do you know what I mean? She just did a lot and I was like, I'm done.
But
people weren't receiving it well. Nah, for real.
People are slow, man. That's what it is. People will listen to MIA in the future and go, oh, she was sick. What happened to her?
100.
No one listened to her when she was around.
Yeah.
We did that earlier this year. It was a bit mad, isn't it? I was like, wait. Their first 2 albums are so crazy.
I liked her most recent album, the orange one. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called AIM. I liked that album.
AIM.
But that's because it had a lot more Diplo on it than the last few albums.
Should we talk about the other standout on this album? The other person that needs
Inflow.
Oh, Inflow.
Producer.
Jeez, man. I'm sorry. That production. Jesus, man.
That is actually the best rapper-producer combo this year, I think. We've got Nas and Hit Boy.
100%.
What else have we got? Like, we've got a few, but this is...
Don't forget my man, Harry Fraud and Benny.
But, like, that's not this level. This is actually a tier above.
That, to be honest, it's not that. It's not. They don't match that level, do they?
The whole thing feels nice from top to bottom because it's them the whole time. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, you know, you could have a big producer like a Harry Fraud and a Hit Boy, and yes, it can work out that way. This just feels... that you know they were sat in the studio together like, oh, make this like this, do this like that. Or, oh, yeah, I'm feeling this, I'm going to go. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like my guy came with the beat, she came with the lyrics. It was a collaborative, or at least I'm guessing that this was a collaborative process.
Oh, it sounded like it.
Yeah. Yeah, no disrespect to people like Alchemist with the sampling and, you know, I don't know, like a Harry Fraud with the drum machines and that. But when it's proper instrumentation and this is like conducting, do you get what I mean? This is like
no
producing,
beat misses.
producing.
How many tracks are there? Like, there's so
19?
many, and none of them
19
miss.
tracks, and there's not one bad. All of them
They sound
bang
crisp.
in their own certain way. And what is amazing about it is it's so versatile. There's different sounds. It's not like all one like running theme. They're all different, and they all bang. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
He outdid himself because I thought Grey Area was very well produced as well. But she was saying that I think they met each other very early in her career and they didn't end up doing anything. And then they reconnected for Grey Area. And she said that during recording that, because of the way they would work together and how he kind of helped her get to the more personal stuff, she would like leave the studio crying and stuff like that. It was like therapy sessions and
That's
shit.
not a bad thing, though. That's bringing out your real self. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's why I think he deserves pretty much as much credit. This is this is a duo to me.
Yeah.
I think like you kind of said it, Kieran.
100%.
But have you seen some of his production credits as well? I know
Michael Kiwanaku, he's done all of his stuff basically.
I knew he worked with him because his last album was incredible. I love that album, love it to pieces.
All of his albums though.
And then that collective Salt. That London collective that that apparently they've released that album this year, and I don't know why I didn't get to it, but they've taken it off streaming. 9 it's called. It was on streaming for 99 days and they took it off, but I might try and buy it physical actually. Anyway, but he's worked with people like the Kooks,
I'm
Tom Odell or whatever.
Has he?
He's
Range.
newer stuff with the Kooks, not classic stuff, but still.
Not the
Okay, fair enough. But still to venture yourself out, to different
range,
genres.
man. And then you think about the production on things like Point and Kill as well. Like, it's just
Point and Kill is amazing.
It's like what Theo said. Every vibe on this album hits perfectly, which shows me that he's a producer. We use the title producer in my eyes very loosely all the time, but this is what a producer does.
He's not a beat maker,
at all. He's a producer. He makes music like really, really well, like a Stevie Wonder does. Like what's that guy's name? The other guy.
He's an artist, isn't he?
Quincy Jones.
It just happens he's got vocals.
Yeah, that's the exact one I'm thinking of. It's like a Quincy Jones vibe of like, oh, this is the sound you need.
Defo.
Let me put my thing on it. It's going to sound great. And I feel like in the UK, like no word of a lie, we're definitely missing that. But this guy could be that.
I think he's the best producer in UK now. Like,
because he's not. None of his beats sound like, oh, this is a J5 beat. There's a beat tag here.
Nope.
It's just good music, and you can't tell a Quincy Jones beat or production by anything. It just sounds like good music.
I agree with you. I mean, I do want to sort of. There are people that aren't, quote unquote musicians or instrumentalists that I would say you might call them a beat maker, but they are producers. Because to me, that when you listen to someone like Hit Boy, what he's done for Nas, when you hear like what Alchemist is doing with the transitions and all that, they are able to really sort of produce someone. Like they're getting the best out of people. Like the one that comes to mind is Boldy James. Like working with Alchemist recently has just kind of propelled him. But this guy is like, it's like Tyler as well. Tyler plays instruments too, and you can kind of hear it. The beats, they're just a certain caliber. Kenny Beats as well. It being an instrumentalist, there's just something a bit different. The way they put things together, it's amazing, man. But who's the guy on? What's his name on Point and Kill?
I can't pronounce his name. Begins with O. It's like Obs. Oh, what's his bloody name?
Is he a Nigerian artist? Is he?
Obong. Yeah. I don't know what that is. You just got to let people do what they're doing. Yeah. I like the video for that one though. It's the one where she's got the machete in it and she's standing up to the police or something.
It starts cool as well, like really cinematic and weird.
Everything about this album, like I don't know if she's signed or if she's independent, but the budget on this whole rollout that we had, amazing, absolutely amazing. All the videos feel like.
Who can announce an album like 6 months early as well and still deliver? That was I was not expecting it.
That's what had us all worried. Though. We were like, these videos are great. Okay, these singles are okay. Not okay, but you know what I mean. So we're thinking, are you giving us the best of the album right here? And
I was not sure what the album was going to be with those 4 pre-singles.
Exactly,
I was baffled.
No. Yeah, it all come together though. But yeah, that guy, I can't pronounce his name. He sounds like a West African Pharrell. That's what he sounds like to me. Pharrell vibes, big time. But I want to hear more of it.
Is that the one where he's like, they can't stop me, or they can't stop me?
Can't stop me. Point and
love that song.
Big.
Amazing. Yeah, I saw them perform together on Tiny Desk as well. Great chemistry. I hope he comes out when we go see it. Really do.
So you can afford him.
But she said that, back to this, what you said about the what's it called? You said about the visuals and things like that. Did anyone else see the interview with Fantano on Needle Drop? I think you did, Kieran. You listened to it.
That guy's banned. That guy's completely banned.
No, don't do it.
He said some outrageous things. We say outrageous things, but we actually mean them. I think he says them for just to piss people off, and he's done too much.
Well, yeah, look, we'll never forget that what he gave Twisted Fantasy. That's
just
that's
6 out of 10. No,
man.
No,
that's what made everything he says and does
6 out of 10.
And he reviewed it twice, by the way. Reviews it twice.
Yeah, he goes back and re-reviews things.
I reckon he was unwell. He had to be like,
still unwell.
You can't be in your right mind.
How can you be unwell twice, man? You can't review this album twice.
No second
Give it
chances for
6
Theo.
out of- No, and give it 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
How
he
can
was
you
done.
be
Something
unwell
else.
twice?
He was done. He was. I was done with him when he was still called Needle Drop. Now he's called
relapsed.
Fantano. I don't even know who the fuck that is. You know what I mean? He's irrelevant. But if you man said he did a good interview with Little Simz, I believe it.
No, he's.
It's because when Simz talks, it's sick. He asks weird questions, to be fair. Like, she goes on this rant about something or like a little monologue in it.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, right, next question. And it's just like, nah.
He's
Yeah, I
not a good
think he's
interview.
quite. No, I think he's quite new to the interview game, so he's not got that flow yet. I think he seems a bit.
You give it in the
nervous
past,
sometimes as
yeah.
well.
No,
Yeah,
because Sean
man.
I'm just
said
like-
he hates Zane Lowe,
No.
but Zane Lowe is a good conversationalist. But
No.
Sean's
I don't
like,
hate Zane Lowe.
you said Zane doesn't go anywhere. He's just talking bears. Like that's what you said.
No, I don't hate Zane Lowe, but Zane Lowe interviews are the safest interviews ever. He just
It's a conversation, Sean. You don't dig into people's personal life in a conversation.
Nah, he bum licks so no. I'm sorry.
Only Kanye.
Sometimes you got to challenge people. Sometimes you got to challenge them.
Who should he have challenged? Go on, talk.
Never
So
does.
who should he have challenged it more?
Listen, the way Kanye West was talking in those interviews, imagine he challenged him. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, but
Another sway moment.
that's exactly what you wanted, and that's not what it ever was going to be. Because Zane Lowe was
he's
sat
very
back in
good.
his chair, just like, all right, oh, okay, all right. That's
Yeah,
all he was
yeah,
doing.
you can tell he's from that generation. He's come up in TV and he's probably learned like I don't know. I don't know his story, but he's safe. He's very safe.
But then you're rating Fantano, and you just said he can't interview. So where are we going from here, man?
No. No, I don't rate Fantano as an interviewer yet, but he's branching out. And he's what he does. He's the biggest, and we can't deny that.
It's not to
he's
me.
got a huge.
The
huge
Grey
fan
Area is the
base.
biggest.
But anyway, what I was trying to say is he asked the question at the end about what's next. Like, what do you feel you can do more, or something like that. And Simz said she wants to be able to make the whole album experience cohesive. She was like, not just the music, but the videos and the live show and the merch and this and that. She wanted everything to be pieced together. And I kind of feel like she's done that with this.
Yeah, I don't know why she's not rating that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
I
what
thought
she's
she was a
definitely
bit
done that
hard.
with.
But maybe she wants
Yeah.
to perfect it, because your first attempt at something is never going to be your best. And if anything, each album might have been a practice in certain things. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like, okay, this time I'm practicing album crafting. Okay, this time I'm practicing instruments. This time I'm practicing everything all together. And she might feel like the next time is the time where she can probably afford to do it better. Because like I said, I don't know if she signed what kind of label deals or budget she has.
It
going
wasn't on a major label. This isn't a major label album.
I feel like she's on that label that Sony have bought recently, which is a
Yeah.
shame.
It was the 4th best label of this country, I think.
Rebel something,
Yeah.
No? I don't know.
Nah,
I think it begins with R.
Oh,
Doesn't it?
we
Well,
looked
has
at
an
it.
R
We
in it.
remember that I sent that article in the group
it?
ages ago about how her record label fucked up or something.
That's what it
like
was.
that.
Yeah.
So there's two labels. There's Age 101, which I think is
Yeah, I was
first,
about to say each. Yeah,
and then
and
there's
it's-
AWOL with AWAL.
yeah.
I think it's that one. I think.
I think so.
Either way.
What was that saying?
Either way, maybe she feels like the budget she's got right now can't facilitate the shows and the merch.
Somehow she
wants.
got in Natural History Museum, though. That must have been a mad budget.
Nah, that's fairly
Yeah, I
cheap
think
to
she's
get.
doing
in
well,
there.
man.
I think you can get into the Natural History Museum for free to record if you do it early in the morning. Because I know
It
people
was
that
COVID, though.
No, but
that
I
was when
know
it was
people that have performed in there,
out.
and you think in your head like, "Oh, this must be mad expensive." And I asked
Oh.
them and say it was free. I was like,
Hell.
"What? Maybe they can't charge you because it's like a government building or some shit like that." I don't know.
the bars.
I would like to say shout out to the last bit of bars on "I Love You, I Hate You."
Oh God, there's one distinctive line that is just God on that song.
Is it the sperm donor line? Because that
Yeah,
one got
man.
me.
That
I was
one-
like,
Yeah,
That one hit me hard, man.
Yeah.
That line
man.
is powerful.
It's
Jesus.
this ending sequence of everything is a choice and anything can be said. Is you missing the point? Are you hearing me vent? Or is you ain't understanding? Know where my words will connect. I keep you in my prayers because life is short as we know. Every mistake you make should contribute to your growth. What you choose to avoid will probably come in your dreams. I'm not forgiving you, man. I'm forgiving for me. And sometimes
ooh.
I hate you, and it goes back into the sample. I was like, yeah, that's a whole
Yeah,
different level.
Ended
that's
bit.
there. That's powerful, man. Oh, that's
That ending
damning,
bit,
though,
man.
is it? That's damning. Jesus.
The whole song is a madness, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like the way she flows in and out of the sample, yeah. Her first verse ends and it goes back to the "I love you," right? Then the second verse ends, it goes back to "I love you," but on this one, the last verse, it's like "I hate you," and it's like ooh, and then the way it ends on that nice little
Yeah, abrupt. Yeah, she said something else in that interview as well about that song, about how she didn't want to make it because she didn't want to feed her dad's ego. And I just thought, what the fuck? Like,
It's deep, isn't it?
yeah.
It's deep. That is just
Like, she said she wasn't ready to confront it herself, but also she was like, I don't know if I want him to kind of know that I'm still writing about him. It was like, wow, there's a lot going on there, hell of a lot.
That goes back to what we were saying earlier. Is this her most personal album? Probably. If she's having those thoughts going into it about, I don't want to write about my dad anymore, this kind of stuff, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But then the other thing with it, something that I found, going back to the beginning, what we were talking about, the sort of the inner conflict and Little Simz versus Simbi, I feel like she kind of conveyed that with her voice at times as well. Like, especially with something like Rolling Stone, where that really felt like the Little Simz side of her, where she's just sort of flossing and, you know, talking about all these sort of fancy things and whatnot. And she just her voice was completely different in that one. Even the delivery as well.
She does that in Point and Kill as well. Like, she fits into the world of each song she's in. And some worlds are so different to other ones. Like,
and she doesn't mince her words, is one thing I want to say.
Yeah.
Because we have this thing about clarity and all this kind of stuff. I don't even think we should mention it, but we have to, because it's something we always celebrate other people doing. She doesn't mince any of her words, and the delivery on everything is what Kieran was saying. I know I cut into you, Kieran, but the delivery on most songs, I won't say all of them, but most in my eyes.
Yeah. She did it on Grey Area and she's done it on this as well. It's just like she's kind of, you know, perfected the craft. But then I thought on Two Worlds Apart as well, I felt like that was more of the sort of Little Simz vibe. Even like in the first couple of lines where she said something like, "No, you see the confidence, believe me, I am wavy." And she was doing it in that little slick voice with so good, man. So good. There was another thing I picked up on in this. I feel like she feels like she's saying stuff about how people want her to put down the pen, or like people are kind of talking about her behind her back but have a different energy in front of her. I don't know if anyone picked up on that.
Yeah, I heard that, and you felt that, because doesn't even that link to like Protect My Energy? When she goes into that and then starts a mad wavy vibe, and you see how that sound is amazing, because that's her energy. I thought it was dope that she went onto that, but I did pick up that as well. But that's why I think it links onto that song as well, because she's feeling like people are trying to attack her for certain bits and that. Yeah, put down your pen. You're not this and that. And I definitely got that vibe. I can't remember what song it was, but I picked it up.
It could be a jealousy thing, because why would you not think this person's one of the best, if not the best person that you've come across in a long time? If you listen to music and you like music, you cannot deny this is a great album.
You'd be lying to yourself after this one, though. Like Grey Area, I can see why someone might be like, I'm not sure. But this one...
It's a mature album. It's got a good theme. It's not... Everybody can listen to this album and find a song on it that makes them think, ooh, or feel a bit...
100%, exactly.
It's not too deep into the roadside where it's unrelatable. And if it does get into the roadside stuff, it's so graphic that you're visualizing it in your head. So even if you have no awareness or any kind of experience of that type of stuff, you feel like, just like when you watch a film and you believe that you've seen fucking Mordor and all them mad fantasy places, this does that. It takes you to different worlds.
But I thought about this a bit deeper enough, and it goes back to something you said, Kieran, as well, about her writing this in lockdown and things like that. And I thought, is this just sort of like, again, part of the sort of inner conflict? Is she just making this up in her head? Like, because she's got this shit going on, she's like kind of creating this sort of situation. Because I'm thinking to myself, if because of COVID, she's not going to have been to many places, like industry-wise, in the last 12 to 18 months, where people are going to be fake. I might be wrong. I could be completely off. So I started thinking to myself, is it just like part of the sort of issue she's going through in her head, where she's kind of, maybe it's like she's doubting herself, but she's projecting it onto like other rappers or the rest of the industry. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know.
Could it just be the
definitely
female
paranoia?
Rapper? Could it be the
I'm
female rapper
paranoia,
thing?
yeah. Ooh.
Because you know, people always say female rappers, women shouldn't rap, blah, blah, blah. It's not hard, all this kind. It could be a bit of that.
That's a good point.
Because that's
She's got that tune Fear No Man as well.
That's the thing. She's got that whole that energy is always there because there's always that subsect of rap fans, hip hop fans that say shit like that. It's like, that's really not the case. And if you're already dividing female rapper, male rapper, then you're already losing because good rap is good rap, good hip hop is good hip hop. You know, the same people that love Jay-Z most likely love Nicki Minaj because they're both great rappers. But the people that go, oh, she's a girl, it's like, just tells us what your fucking life is like. It's sad.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's clearly not bitter towards the scene as well. Like she shouts out Helly on it, doesn't she? She says like,
"Oh, that was nice."
She says, listening to Helly getting gassed in the mountains or something.
Oh,
like that,
what is that? That's mad,
yeah.
I don't think she cares, which is a great place to be in. I feel like she actually doesn't care about the game, which sounds rude, but it's like, why should you care about the game? You're part of the game. You're just running your own race. She's bigger than
the game, though, as well. Like the game, I think she said something in the Fantano interview where it was like she decided to just stop talking about just London stuff. I don't know if it was about other people or about herself. I can't remember what it was. Actually, I think that was on. She's doing an album breakdown on her YouTube right now. She says a lot on that one.
Yeah, she is.
She says so many things on that. It's mad. But yeah, she says she's just talking bigger than London, like bigger than the city she's in. She's talking global stuff and internal stuff as well.
I think that's where the best music can come from, is within, which is where the introvert side of things probably makes that. Because even people that say they're extroverted and whatever, everyone has introverted moments or introverted.
Oh, 100%.
That's why the album title was perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
It hits
as soon as I read it, I was like, wow, this. No one said this before like this. Sometimes you do, innit? You just feel that way.
Just want to be on your own. That doesn't mean you hate everybody or anything like that. It's like, I just want to be on my own, man.
No, exactly.
Be alone with my thoughts.
You don't want to talk, like, yeah.
Edit the fuck out of that.
I'm going to skip actually to something I've written down, but because I just got to talk about it. Is it time to start calling her one of the greatest of all time?
It's a bit undeniable.
Or is it too
soon? Undeniably. I mean, I started thinking that Grey Area, to be fair. Like, that album was hard. That album
Grey Area is amazing. Yeah.
That's a feat that not a lot of people... Like in our list we made, we only put Kano's album above it. Do you know what I mean? For good reason. Because that album is hard. Little spoiler.
Yeah. I'm not pissed at that. I'm not pissed at that. I'm thinking of my own point.
I'm saying...
Bro, if I'm honest, the second I heard this album, right, and bearing in mind this was coming off the back of listening to Kanye's album, hearing J. Cole's album, Tyler the Creator's album, whatever else had come out, right, and all the other albums that have come out in between that, right, I've still really liked this album. And for me to like an album and then not want to take songs off of it is a very rare and special thing. Like I actually don't like to hear individual songs off the album, which makes you arguably the album of the year. If I'm not taking songs off and I'm just listening to the album, that would give you the premise that this is album of the year. Rather than best songs of the year, album of the year.
I've already said it's my album of the year. This is just top to bottom. Because I've already said, because what Sam is saying is what I do as well. Like sometimes I can listen to, I don't know, sections of albums or pick certain individual songs of the albums, and I've done that with albums that I've considered album of the year this year. I can't do that with this album. I have to listen to it top from bottom. Have to. It's just
there's no starting point I want to like get from other than Introvert. Really and truly.
Exactly.
But that's the start. Do you know what I mean? And you know, it feels rude when you, because I tried it. I tried to jump in. I thought, I like Two Worlds Apart. Let me jump in there.
Rude.
I was just like, but I need to be brought up. Then I need to ride through Woman. And then I need to be where I'm at. Otherwise, I've just...
Exactly.
I feel like you know what I mean? I've got my fucking trousers on, but I haven't put my socks on yet type thing. It just feels a bit odd.
It was weird, though, because in the pre-singles, like, I listened to I Love You, I Hate You just on repeat that first day when it came out. I wasn't feeling any weird kind of way, like, I don't know what's before this yet and stuff like that. So I don't know what changed when the album dropped, but...
I don't remember what I listened to first. I think I listened to Woman and... what's the other one? Rolling Stone. But then apart from that, I think I stopped. As soon as Sean told us the album was coming out, I stopped listening to singles because I was like, I need to hear it in context.
Well, that's what I did. But I listened to Rolling Stone, I listened to Introvert, and I listened to I Love You and I Hate You. But I refused to listen to Woman because I was like, I can't listen to all these singles, man. I don't want to ruin the album. Even though if I did listen to Woman, it wouldn't have ruined the album at all. But I didn't know what was in store.
I couldn't avoid Woman. Woman was everywhere. The video kept coming up as an advert on Insta. The video,
it was a good advert.
Yeah, I had to click it because it looked so like opulent. I was like, I have to see this.
It's a big moment, isn't it? I feel like she seemed like the most important UK artist. I can't think of any other one, in any genre actually this year. Someone try and mention one because I can't.
No, it feels big what she's done. It feels big. It might not be big, but it feels big. And maybe retrospectively, people go, "Oh no, this was a big turning point." But it feels massive what she's doing.
I think getting number 2 was a big moment as well.
That was big, but this is bigger. This is actually
deeper
bigger
level
than
of
that.
his career. Didn't she get like number 3 or something?
I don't know, but I'm trying to think back because with Getz as well. He's been around for a long time. I think, especially for like the grime fans, seeing him to get to where he's got to.
That was incredible.
But I get you. I feel you. I guess the one thing I'd say is that I think at the very least, she is one of the best that we have, and is on track to maybe be the greatest.
Okay. It got to number 4 on the UK albums chart, which is not you know what I mean?
Still very good.
Yeah, it's not something to look down
He's
on.
not a major label artist. You've got to remember that.
Yeah, she went number 1 in UK independent albums and obviously in R&B albums. But why does hip hop go in R&B? Why don't you just give a hip hop category? Like,
I don't even think anything's R&B on this.
No,
actually,
that's where they
I don't
put
think
rap
anything
music.
on this.
The Getz' album went number 1 in R&B as well. Like, it's just throw all the black music in there. It's a bit stupid.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
It's ridiculous.
So dumb.
Yeah,
I think this album will go platinum.
I think, like I say, she's at very least one of the best over here. I think I'm looking at this now. I think she's 2 albums in a row now. She's knocked it out of the park. She's approaching the sort of like what we're seeing with Tyler at the moment. His run.
If it's one more album like this, then
Outkast.
wow.
Yeah. If she does one more, then I've got to put her up there with Kendrick, Outkast, Kanye, Tribe, Tyler, people like that. She has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Should we dig into the nitty gritty then? Favorite tracks, scores, all that.
Have we finished discussing whether she's the best artist of all time?
I think she might have already overtaken Kano. Let's be real.
Take it out of the UK. I'm saying take it out of the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's up
all
there,
time.
For
right?
me, she is.
Let's say we're doing a long list and a short list. The long list is 100. The short list is 50 to 25. Yeah.
Look, this album makes it undeniable. This album makes it undeniable now.
This album makes it short list of let's bracket it a little bit because you can't compare classics to what's going on now, right? Short list of things that have come out in the last 15, 20 years. This is in my top 25.
Oh, easily.
100, like, come on, maybe higher,
25. Yeah, it might be higher.
I'm giving the brackets.
Yeah.
I'm giving the brackets. I'm not saying where it is in my. It's in the top 10 for me, but like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying she could be one of.
This is one of the best albums of this century. We've just walked into, but I feel you on that.
Well, I'm just looking back over the discography, and to be honest, we're probably doing a disservice not mentioning the others because Curious Tale is a good debut project. It's a good album. Stillness in Wonderland is an improvement and it's a strong album as well. And then Grey Area is obviously like we're talking one of the greatest we've seen. And then this one as well, you've got to put it right up there. Whether it's better than Grey Area, I'm still undecided, but it's strong. Like as in it's really strong.
She's
really
getting
strong.
better and better. So I just
We're
wanted
not
to.
sure about it. Yeah, like I'm surprised.
I'm
what's it?
better than Grey Area. There's
I'm confused. Like the production on this inflow. Nah. How can you just say that?
Have you listened to Grey Area recently though?
I have, but inflow on this album
back to back. I had to listen to it back to back, Sean, just so to clarify. I just think this one's a lot. Probably it's because this one's deeper. That's why the production's just unbelievable. Yeah,
I feel like we're all definitely suckers for a more personal album than like
storytelling.
Yeah,
album. It's an album crafted, isn't it?
Yeah. I get you. I think I'm still in that. I still do that thing where I have to give something time. I'm always like that. Grey Area,
I just knew it.
I can't, unless something has got to be like just on another planet.
But on I Love You, I Hate You, there's nothing on Grey Area that matches that.
Man,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's facts.
But from front to back, though, Grey Area is just,
it's a short
album.
Albums. It's a short album compared to this. Well, it feels short. I don't know if it's actually time-wise the same length. Let me look.
No, it's not.
No,
it's half an hour. That's what I'm saying. It's a short album, so of course you're gonna have a lot of an easier time enjoying that because it's so short. You're gonna always want to hear
Unpacking it.
more. Yeah.
This album took me time to unpack. Like
Oh,
I wasn't
big time.
listening to it in the first week. I wasn't even listening in the first month, really.
Nah, yeah, I had to take a break. After the first listen, I was a bit overwhelmed. I was like, I actually need to listen to this
A
all the way
lot.
through it again and again.
There's a lot to take in, man. Like you can't. I'm like you. Like in the first few listens, I was just riding the journey. I wasn't actually taking in some of like the bars that she was saying and how deep some of these songs go, man. It's deep.
Yeah,
To
but
the
go
point
on,
where
sorry,
I'm like,
Sean. What's the nitty gritty? I just wanted to clarify that we all agreed that we were in a similar place. Do you know what I mean? Of like,
No, I just meant wrapping it up, like getting to our favourite tracks and our scores and that.
oh yeah, go on.
I hear it. We're
take the
there
lead.
now.
Yeah, I think we've covered this album.
We will be
Like, as you
covering
said,
more
there's
little Sim stuff
unpacking to it.
in the future. We definitely will. Anything she drops, we might even do just singles, bonus episodes of Little Sims because she's definitely one to watch.
Well, we're going to see her as well. We're going to see her, so
Spoilers.
that always elevates the experience.
Might have to do a live show review or something.
I think we should. Okay, so who wants to start with favourite tracks?
Edit the fuck out of that.
Oh man.
No one wants to go first.
Nah,
Bring the energy.
Don't let him bring the
spice.
seasons though.
I was about to say.
Don't make this man bring his seasons out again.
Hey, man, when the seasons come out, man, flipping.
Islands on a T.
Jeez.
Oh man, you know, I struggle with favorite tracks, man, because I could name every single flipping track.
I wrote a lot. I wrote interludes.
I'm not even joking. Yeah, you know what I'm saying about interludes. You know, like the garden is. Nah, I'm struggling. Nah, you know what?
Should we come back to you?
man. No, yeah, you come back because this is like a jerk seasoning, man. Throw everything in, and I'm feeling hot, nice. Like everything's spicy in the man. This is the real shit.
Jesus. All right, hear what I'm saying, yeah? Mine comes in 2-track little bursts. So, 2 Worlds Apart, I Love You, I Hate You. Then, Little Q Part 2, Gems Interlude. Standing Ovation, I See You. Then, Never Make Promises, Point and Kill. Then, The Garden to the end. But, like, that's a lot of songs. That's like 9 songs. Or probably more, actually. 2, 4,
I wrote down
6,
9 songs as well.
8.
You have to like weed them out because it's so hard.
It's 9 songs,
How
man.
do you weed this thing out,
It's
man?
8.
I'm
It's 8.
struggling.
It's 8 songs that aren't on there. If you don't count some of the one interlude I didn't pick, which is the first little cubit. I don't know why.
You're sounding indecisive, innit? Let me just say mine.
Oh,
I got 3. I weeded
Yeah,
mine.
same.
Man's got 3. How have you man done 3?
I had to. Like, you just have to be personal. Like, this is where we get subjective.
That is
innit?
personal.
Man.
All right,
Yeah,
go on,
favourite
then,
tracks.
guys.
What?
You have to force
The whole
it.
team.
Look, I got one. I
I do my monologue.
I got Little Q Part 2. That one is just so classic to me. I got Gems Interlude. I just love that tune. I don't know what it is about it. And I love Standing Ovation as well. It's such a weird pick of 3, but it's them 3.
No, it's a good free, but I can't.
That's
I
in
can't
my
separate
9 though.
these tracks.
All 3
Standing
of those are in
Ovation
my 9.
was never a question. Like, for me, Standing Ovation was never a question. I love how, listen to it again because it's crazy. The raps are so like mad. The beat's so mad. Then like the chorus is just like the opposite. It's like a dream. It's trippy. And then it goes back. It's just crazy. I love that one.
Okay.
This is my favorite.
Sean's also got 3, so go on then. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
getting
I've got
closer
3.
to my 3 then.
So I get you. Like I did have to. I removed singles so I could get down to a 3. So I got 2 Worlds Apart. I've got Point and Kill, and I've got Misunderstood. That's my 3.
Okay, if I have to weed it down to a 3, then I think I've got here. It's got. I've just got to go for personal. So I've got.
That's what it's called. His favourite tracks.
Bruh. The whole thing is my favorite track, man. I told you it's like jerk seasoning. Yeah, slap that thing over any meat, slap it over chicken, slap it over pork, slap it over fish. It tastes all right, doesn't it? Yeah.
The way Kieran's a vegetarian, yeah, man's just thinking like that sounds gross now. Now you're slapping onto meat.
No, but I'm trying to remember what the song.
Man.
What song is this?
What song?
What song are you talking about, bro? I'm just hearing
He hasn't
spices.
said-
I'm
he
not even
hasn't
hearing a
said-
song
he hasn't
title.
say a song
Like,
yet.
what?
Man is coming. I am coming onto the thing, but
That's just what making it man, because I'm hearing bare seasons. I'm like, he hasn't
I'm
said
hearing
a
so
song
many
title.
like condiments and spices.
Bro, I'm looking at the track list. I'm like, where's spicy? Like,
Okay, no, where's spicy? Right, okay, yeah, spicy, man. Right, and keep pressing on to that. Anyway, so I love you and I hate you, man. That's like that. You just throw in all spice, like cayenne pepper. Throw in that Scotch bonnet, man. That's some heat shit, man. That's like burning your throat. That's hitting in hard, man. That's like you taking a sip of that Ray and Nephews, man. Burning down the throat, hitting you hard. Some real shit. Then you got misunderstood. Misunderstood, you're on a vibe. Like some rosemary, some parsley. Give me some basil. Chuck in those things in there, and a little bit of like that paprika. You know, you need a bit of paprika to spice up the thing. And then the last one. What are we saying? Oh, Little Q Part 2, man. That's just all of that. Just give me that Cajun stuff, man. That's that. Oh, jeez, man. Give me some brown sugar. That's some nice stuff, man. Some nice brown sugar. Tasty.
Okay, I've managed to cut down my list, but I'm not very confident in my cut down list. After Theo's rant just there, I'm not confident in mine because mine sounds boring. I'm going for the first song on the album, Introvert. Then I'm going to go for Standing Ovation. Then I'm going to go for Misunderstood. Because that way I win. Nice. It's the beginning, middle, and the end.
All three. Fair enough.
But it just feels too safe. Like, but you heard what I originally said.
No, that's a good three because I could have picked that as well.
I feel bad leaving out Point and Kill though because I like that one. That's one
I'm going to make an amendment though.
Oh no!
Because I realized I said no singles. If you want to,
I was going to go over. No. I was saying Point and Kill is like eating gel off rice, man.
Ignore this guy, Sean. Ignore this guy. I don't know what's got into him today. He's not even drinking. He's drinking what? We assume it's water in there, yeah. But who knows what this yeah, apparently.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. That is like eating gel off rice, man. You eat gel off rice, and you're like, they can't top me.
This man gives us clips every fucking week. Anyway. Sure, you were saying.
I don't want to take it off now, but basically, I realised I said no singles, and Point and Kill is now a single. So give me Standing Ovation.
Okay, so yours is looking closer to mine now because you had Misunderstood.
Yeah. And yep.
I wanted Misunderstood. I actually did Misunderstood as well, but then I just swapped it to that interlude because I don't know, that interlude's a nice vibe.
Mine's on the fly.
Interlude's nice though, man. That was a nice pick. I'm not gonna lie, the interlude's hit hard, man.
But if we say interludes, The Garden. I love The Garden.
If I'm honest, when I see her do this live, I'm not trying to hear any other songs other than what's on this album. Remember I said this about Tyler and Igor and Tyler and this new album. Just perform the whole album. It's good enough. It's, you know what I mean? Perform the whole album top to bottom. It's an hour-long set. It's your show. So you just make sure your set's an hour long. You're good to go. You can't go wrong with even if you have other bangers that are big, you got Venom and all that, forget that. Anyone who's coming to this show doesn't want to come in here Venom. At least I don't.
I don't want to hear anything from Grey Area, to be honest.
It's not.
I just want to hear this.
Yeah, it's not in like a angry way or like oh fuck what you did before. This is the best. I just want to hear this. I just want to hear this. Do you know what I mean? I would love to hear your other stuff, but I literally want to hear this from top to bottom live. Because when people do stuff live, they do it a little bit different. And I know she's gonna have a live band there. She 100% will.
Yeah.
But she wants us to live inside of the album in the live show.
I'm bringing all my money. I'm going to spend all my money that day.
All right, scores.
9.7.
Whoa. Jesus Christ, man.
Damn.
I have to match my Tyler rating.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
I'm setting precedents because I feel like all of you put low numbers and we're not having it. We're not having it this time. We're not having it this time.
No, don't make these excuses, man.
I think you put high numbers. Is what
I think you bloated yours. That's the highest score ever.
Look at Pop Smoke, man. That one was high.
Nah,
that guy's dead though. I did that because he was dead.
Rotted. Sean, give us your score so we can keep going.
Oh, I'm at a 9.
That's a big
solid
number
9.
for Sean. That's your biggest one yet.
That's my highest score. That's my highest score.
Give that some barks.
Yeah. But you know what? For me though, do you know what it is? Is I feel like
nah, look at this man. Look at Theo.
Yeah, Theo's done.
Theo's finished.
Theo's done. I still feel like she can do better than this.
That's
Still.
room to grow. Yeah, that's room to grow. I like that.
I still feel like it can be better.
I think
Yeah,
there's room to grow for sure.
I think if there's a hybrid between grey area and this, and that's the one.
For you.
That's the one.
100%.
For me, well, yeah. But I still feel like whatever. Objectively, I feel like she can do more. She's 27. Like, she's young.
True.
Yeah.
She's got a ways to go yet. I'm sitting at a solid like 9.3. I would make it higher, but I don't think I
What's
can.
happening? Hold on, wait, pause. I'm seeing Theo like praying and shit. Like, what is going on
I
in
don't
that
know.
bedroom?
He's having a spiritual experience. I think he ate his own seasonings. I have no clue. Sometimes like this is where I wish we did video because people need to see the bullshit that we do.
So, Sam, what were you saying? Because you were onto something.
No, I was just saying 9.3. Like it could be higher. I could push it to a 9.4 or 9.5, but I just haven't. He's still going through it. I can't speak when this man is going through it like that. But yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's definitely one of my higher scores. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm underscoring it, but I'm giving it a realistic score. And a little bit of personal preference is thrown in there. Because I would have been sitting where Sean's sitting at a solid 9, but I was like, got to bump that up. Because it's, for me, album of the year. And as far as I can remember, on recordings anyways, this is the highest score I've ever given. If we were rating Kanye's album, then obviously I'd be giving like 11 out of 10s and shit like that. Shit that doesn't even work. And if we did Drake's album, I'd be giving minus numbers. So, this is a good album for this year.
Oh my god!
Minus numbers.
We almost went a whole call without Drake.
Nah, we've been there already. Go on, Theo. If you're ready now, give us your score.
I'm ready. Yeah, this album's 9.4.
Your scores aren't even that far from mine, What are you guys saying?
What do you mean? Yours is high, bro. Yours is inflated.
Yours rounds up to a 10.
I don't have complaints.
Okay, the average score is 9.4 or 9.35, but we don't do 2 decimal
Theo's done
places
it again.
because that upsets Sean. The listeners don't know
Theo's
about
actually
this.
done it again.
Sean does not like when people do 2 decimal points. It upsets him. We don't even like 1 decimal point, but that's a whole different conversation. That's funny times.
Theo, you did it again.
Yeah, I've just got that. I've just got no house. But no, I know our scores are not far from yours, Kieran, but 9.7. I mean,
That's
when you're in
high.
that bracket, of like 0.5 from 9.5 upwards,
That means it's
high.
classic
gotta
work.
be-
Instantly
yeah,
classic.
has to be, exactly, instant classic.
I'm not mad at
I
it.
feel that's a fair score. I feel that's a fair score.
I'm not
Yeah.
mad at it.
I'm
I
not
just
ready to
personally
give it a
couldn't
10.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not ready to give it a 10. And if it was a 9.5, that's averaging a 10. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
You don't think it's a 10 out of 10 album?
You're
Damn.
asking big man questions.
Not just because I still think she can go one better than this. I really do.
Hey, this is Kieran and thanks for listening. Shout out to my Indian people, I see you. Don't leave without hitting the link in the podcast notes to join our Discord server, where the discourse of our episodes continues. We've got curated playlists and more for you to check out there. Namaskar.